Feliz, do you want to say a quick hi onto the podcast? This is episode 64 of the Theater School Rejects. I'm surprising Feliz and Michael in this in the rain, but Feliz, Michael, and Richard with a Cakespiracy 2018, right? So anyway, we're going to podcast and just say hello to our universal listeners, our fours of listeners.
Woo. Hello, everybody.
Right.
Awesome, right here in the rain.
Yes, we're getting out of the rain now.
Holding people hostage.
Welcome to Theater School Rejects
It's
episode.
actually raining in LA for once.
It's raining. Joined by perennial guest host and conspirator Richard K. Older. Woo! You can find him on the Instagram and the Twitter.
At RK Older.
And is the website yours again?
Not yet.
Still work in progress?
I gotta pay rent.
Rent! A little thing like rent.
Little thing like rent.
Your art!
Yeah.
I actually took me, I had to renew my website on my domains in Google Domains, and one of my cards that was using doesn't exist anymore.
Oh,
and
shit.
it took me like, well, because you know, like they get renewed or whatever, and like I had to like figure out Google Pay, because apparently you can't pay for a domain with your bank account. It has to be a credit card. So anyway, but I renewed my domain. DougXComedy.com is still a thing, and it is raining good.
Yeah.
Well, we had a show that I thought was going to be a disaster and turned into something awesome.
It was. It was a fun show. Crowd was fun. Comics I thought were solid. I didn't see anyone set that sucked. I can't vouch for everybody, but I saw.
You were in the hallway a lot.
I saw the bulk of the second half.
The second half was strong.
Second half was strong. I walked in. I walked back in, I think, halfway through Andrew.
Yeah.
And he was pretty funny. And then Feliz was after him. I thought she was really good.
Feliz is always just dynamite. And I'm not just saying it because she was one of our recent podcast hosts. But
I thought your set was good.
One of my best sets in a while.
Especially towards the end, like it amped up.
Yeah.
And people were getting more invested. It was a good set.
It built.
It built.
Which is what you want it to do.
And then James Fry.
Dude, he's amazing like always. The fucking Sasquatch is reliable.
Right, he kills it every time. That
He
dude's
sexually
so
assaulted
funny.
a Christmas tree just randomly.
He did.
Wasn't planned.
He very aggressively choked that tree out.
Like, I need to build the energy up. I'll fucking attack a tree. Which is what you do when you're a Sasquatch. Oh, speaking of, I got a card from the comics, and Richard signed the comic, his card is Troll, and addressed it to Orc.
Yep. Or Controller Friends.
Or Controller Friends. And I made sure to, like, reference my orkiness in the set.
You did.
The ugliest orc in Middle Earth. Which I've got to make a shirt like that. Maybe my green skin picture that I have on my website, I'll like put that on a shirt and be like the ugliest orc in Middle Earth. DougXComedy.com. Richard broke out the shirt. I got him. The OSTF.
I said I'd wear it the next show if you got one. You got one, and I wore it.
I saw you posting on Facebook. You've been hyping your merch.
Yeah, man. I was like, I'm just gonna wear it all day.
Yeah.
I'll wear it all day.
Well, it's sweet. It's a good shirt. Has anyone asked what is OSTF?
No,
no one cares. They
well,
see
it
your
says it
face.
at the bottom.
Oh, they don't have
Step
to.
too far.
I forgot how I designed it. I was like, I know there's a pound OSTF. Do I have writing on there? I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, did they ask what one step too far? Like, did they ever, like, what the fuck is that all about?
I did have some people ask, what's one step too far?
That's my motto. That's my comedy motif.
I actually gave out a couple of business cards today because of the shirt.
Do you have comedy business cards now?
Yeah.
Sweet, me too.
I've had them. I just haven't given them out as much because the website's down.
Oh yeah, there's that. It's all synergy, man. Well, like
The lady at the 7-Eleven was like, what's one step too far? Why is your face on your shirt? And I was like, well, I'm a comedian. And my friend nicknamed me One Step Too Far. And he made this shirt with my face. And she's like, oh, you're a comedian? Yeah.
here's my card. You can call me.
And she's like, do you have a card or anything? I said, I do. Let me get out of my car.
That's
So I
fantastic.
went out and brought it in. Said,
She might have a birthday party she'll book you for.
Right.
Like, do you do birthday parties?
With my
Depends.
set full of bitterness.
Will there be a water slide?
Yeah. Right. There's a water slide. I can't. I got PTSD.
I can't do. Is that a water park?
I can't do it.
Sorry, man, I can't do it.
We're having the party at the water park. Nope. I'm out.
Just give me a second. I'm just gonna.
Oh, sure.
I'm gonna grab a jacket. It is cold and wet.
Yeah, I thought my set was all right. It wasn't as good.
I thought it was very good. What went wrong? Like you lost momentum, but only because like you got a 7.5 minute set and you thought you were doing 5.
Yeah, I mean that's part of it. Was that I started dragging in a little bit.
Yeah, because you kind of lost. Like I thought the first 6 minutes were some of your best stuff, and then like I said, the last minute was just
That's true. It was
just like I saw you stumble. Like I should be done by now, and I'm not.
Yeah, I got a little perplexed because I expected to see the light, and I didn't see it, and I had no idea where I was at. I was kind of at the end of what I was going to do.
Yeah, no, but that's not your fault. And you'd rather have a 7 minute set than a 5.
Yeah, but if I'd been prepared, it would have been.
I know, but like unless you're gonna buy the video, and if you do buy the video, you can just cut off the last minute and have a strong 6 minute set, which is better than a strong 5.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? I mean,
That's actually
assuming
fair.
you're actually going to buy the video, which I don't know if you are,
I may.
but like everyone was there and they saw you do a strong 6.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, it was a pretty strong 6.
I don't think you lost anybody because you stumbled, and if you did, it wasn't your fault.
Yeah, we got in the middle of my last joke. I realized that I was telling the joke wrong.
There's no telling a joke wrong; you're just telling it differently.
Well, I decided not to tell the joke in a certain way, and I have been doing it one way all year.
Which one's that?
The sex noises you make are hereditary.
Oh wait, but like, well, actually, like oddly enough,
Holy shit! It started raining harder.
yeah. Well, you led into it. We talk about masturbating.
Yes.
Which I don't think I've seen you do before. That's not how I've seen you lead into it.
Oh.
Usually you just throw it out there. Have you ever thought?
Yeah. So like when I started dragging it out, I started adding the stuff. I started adding stuff in.
Yeah.
And when I originally told that joke, I also when I first told it, it involved masturbation, but like I mentioned about how like my brain like throws in images of people I know while I'm in the process.
Yeah. And then you're like, not you, Doug. I thought that was good. That got a good laugh.
That part got a good laugh.
Yeah. So I mean, like, is there a reason like you don't want to tell it that way?
I just think referencing my family in a masturbation joke,
It's unusual, I admit. But
it
like
doesn't get the laugh that, like I recovered for it by.
Well, but I think by like saying not me,
you.
and then I'm like acting heartbroken, and grabbing my heart, and you're like I think that like
it saved the bit.
Well, because I mean, and then you like went to your dad, so like it already had some goodwill built in.
Yeah.
But like, I'm not saying it has to be that way, but I think like jumping right to your dad's a mistake. But I think that there's like bringing your dad into it is actually an interesting way of setting it up. I liked it. But
Kind of.
it's your set. I mean, it's your thing. But I actually liked the way you led into it better than the way you usually tell it.
Well, so like what occurred to me was that as I mentioned the masturbation, I said none of that stuff's important. The whole point is why you're having sex and making sex noises.
Yeah.
Is hereditary.
But I mean, like, that doesn't matter. Like, I agree, like, you don't need it, but I've seen you just throw it out there.
Yeah.
And I thought this was better because it segued in.
Oh, it kind of built it up a little bit.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I liked it better this way. And I mean, like,
I'll have to go back and
well,
listen.
but like, as far as necessary, well, I mean, none of your set's necessary. Like, I mean, but it also depends, like, on the length of the set, because you had 7 minutes. You know, if it was a 5 minute set, maybe you don't want to build. Maybe that punchline's not strong enough to like build in.
Maybe.
But I also think if your build is good, like an enjoyable build can have a not great payoff.
You know, it works though.
Yeah, because people, it's like if the build isn't funny itself, then the payoff has to be stronger, and the more build you put into it, the bigger the payoff has to be.
Yeah, I think my issue with it is that I think it was a little scattered. Like a little scatterbrained.
Well, but
of course that's because I was dragging it out.
right. and I mean, like, you don't want to drag it out, but like, you're also interacting with the audience in that you singled me out by name. And even if you weren't, even without
especially after the birthdays. After the birthday song and all that, it just seemed appropriate to call you out.
No, you did, and like I reacted, and that like created a dynamic. So that bought you, like, that made it a good, that got people invested in the story.
That's true.
So I mean, like, you can do stuff like that, or you could, like, you know, say, you know, even though something like, you know, you can't control what pops in your head when you're masturbating, and you're like, you know, you're hoping it's gonna be Margot Robbie pops in your head. You know, or maybe, and then like you could kind of like spin through that, but then sometimes it's what you don't want pops up in your head, like your dad.
See, and I think in that way it works.
Yeah, like I'm just spitting ideas, I'm just spitballing, but like you can make it relatable, and then bring in the part that's not relatable. Like, do you ever wonder where those noises come from? Oh man, I wanted to interject and get dark on that. I was like, no, it's not hereditary. It comes from the first person who molested you.
That's funny.
I thought so. It popped in my head while you're doing it. I'm like, no, wrong.
You know what I was telling you about that tag I thought about on the water slide?
Yeah.
I told myself during the set, don't say it.
Don't say the
Don't
tag.
say it. Don't say the tag. You know it's not right. Don't do it.
Well, I did a bit about calling my ex-girlfriend for the first time at Mistress K's show. You weren't there, but didn't get recorded. So I was like, that's my new material.
Right on.
Know what I do when I'm feeling lonely? I didn't have much else new. I didn't really think about what I was going to do for my set.
You really don't. Not for a while.
I often don't. Like, well, I'm much more excited about, like, well, I was thinking about that, like, why I'm not, like, even, well, I was depressed for a variety of reasons, but, like, my sets, writing comedy doesn't excite me as much anymore because I've done it, as much as writing, like, a scene and trying to get that to come to exist with actors and directing.
Sure.
Like, that's a much bigger thrill for me at this point.
So, on that topic, have you started working on the Jabba the Hutt thing?
No, I haven't. I'm more thinking about trying to figure out when we can get people together and film the awkward fight scene.
Oh, that'd be cool.
But I definitely like the Jabba the Hutt. Did you see the podcast title? Auto Asphyxiation in Jabba the Hutt?
Yes, it's awesome.
It's got like 40 hits. It should have like 300. That's a good title.
Oh, it seems the Forza listeners have listened to it multiple times.
Our fours and fours of listeners. Our scores of fours. Actually, a score of fours would be 80. Well, I obviously had 4 scored 7 years ago, but scores of fours sounds way better than 4 score.
Scores of fours.
Scores of fours.
It sounds like a dating group of ugly people.
Or the scourge of fours.
Scourge of fours.
Like killing people 4 at a time. As a serial killer. The scourge of fours. Oh man, where my mind goes in these podcasts. Oh, I had a bit I wanted to do that I did for the podcast with Feliz last show, but I totally forgot. It was a bit about like pill splitting.
About pill splitting?
Yeah. Well, a buddy of mine who had OCD and got diagnosed a pill for it, but it wasn't like but it ended up being, it wasn't like they gave him, 10 milligram pills for a 10 milligram dose. They gave him 20 milligram pills, but it was a 10 milligram dose. And like, I was giving him a hard time because I'm like, that's a terrible thing for someone with OCD, because you're going to split the pill and be like, that's not perfectly even, throw it out. Split the next one, well, that's not perfectly even.
Call it the pharmacy. I need a new thing of pills. Pre-cut them, please. I can't go through another afternoon of this.
I mean, I'm just like, that just seems tailor-made to go wrong for someone with OCD.
Yeah.
Like, that's the worst possible prescription you could give somebody.
Well, or or they're gonna enjoy it so much because they're going like, he nailed it like a drug addict.
Yeah, you don't even need the pill. You just feel it. I satisfied my OCD splitting the pills.
Split it perfectly.
Did you take them? No, I thought the medicine would just be splitting them.
It's like a placebo. It's fine.
Good. Thanks. Go
I
ahead.
am
So
fucking wet.
yeah, let's fucking not do this anymore. Actually, I don't know. I don't mind actually being wet. I just worry about my phone being wet. Well, I think it stopped, or at least reduced.
It's reduced. It was ran
So
pretty
you're
good
working
there for
tomorrow?
me.
You got a security shift, or?
Yeah. Well, I work 2 days a week at the alarm company on Thursdays and Fridays. Last week I did Tuesday and Wednesday because we were off.
But now it's
Thursday and Friday. But I'm back on my regular days.
oh.
So I gotta be there at 8 o'clock.
Okay. Well, today's a late day, so we'll wrap this up and head our separate ways.
It's a late day. Well, it didn't help the show got started late, which I found out was partially because of us.
Wait, huh?
The show got started late because we were working out the logistics of the cake.
Well, but only about 15 minutes of it,
Well, yeah, a half hour.
and or more was because the tables weren't even clean by 10:10,
Yeah.
and we didn't start till about 10:25, and 15 minutes of that was you guys. The Cakespiracy.
The Cakespiracy.
I am so proud of that term. I'm like conspiracy of cakes. Cakespiracy.
And it worked.
That's my band, Cakespiracy.
Cakespiracy.
I'm ready to be a band. I just got a guitar.
That's right.
I can't believe you don't know how to play guitar.
I don't. I'm a drummer.
What do you call a guy who hangs out with musicians?
A drummer.
Exactly.
You know who pounds better? Drummers. I got rhythm all kinds of places.
What do you call a drummer in between girlfriends?
Homeless.
I know, I love that joke.
I know that joke. I know all the jokes.
Like, I've lived that joke. What are you talking about? I know that joke. That joke's my life.
I've been a drummer for 27 years. Yeah, I've heard them all. Bass player jokes are funny too.
What's that, lead singer jokes?
But bass player jokes.
Oh, those are good. They're separate.
I don't know any lead singer ones.
Oh, how's the lead singer change a light bulb?
Oh, I know. He holds it and lets the world revolve around him.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I've lived that experience too.
I believe that.
Fuck singers. Fuck that guy.
Fuck that guy. But he
Fuck
was a
that
lead
guy.
singer. That guy was totally a lead singer. Fuck that guy.
He had 2 chicks with him. There's a good chance of it.
I'm telling you, that's his band. Me and the 2 chicks who love me.
Fuck that guy.
Actually, if I was that guy and I had a band, that would be the name of my band. Come see me and my 2 chicks who love me Tuesday night. With our #1 single, Why I'm Better Than You. I like that. I want to introduce that in my set. That makes me happy.
Off our latest album, You Wish You Were Me.
In our upcoming album, Fuck, I'm That Guy. That makes me way happier than it should.
Damn, I can't see.
All right, that's it for Theater Rejects, the podcast.